Today we're looking at a bunch of different flashes available on the market, and we're going to help you choose the right one for your photography. Hey everybody, my name is Daniel Troutman with the SmashCake.com, and the SmashCake.com is your online resource for all things Smash Cake, whether it be photography advice, set building advice, how to run a better business, how to take a better picture, and where to buy all of those really insanely cute props that we see all over the place. All of that can be found on the SmashCake.com. Now today we are going to go ahead and we are going to talk about the different types of flashes out there on the market. I have broken it down into the 3 most popular flashes, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about each type, what they're good for, what they're not good for, and how much they cost, and all of that good stuff. Now, I do want to point out that each one of these flashes is available in the Pro Shop at thesmashcake.com, but I'm not doing that to be shameless about plugging it. What I want you guys to do today is go to the Pro Shop, click on the link for each one of these types of lights, and it will pop up in a brand new window, and you can compare specs side by side. It makes it much easier to pick out the right light for you without having to take my word for it. So I'm always thrilled when I can do my own research, and so I've made it easy for you to do the same. Okay, you guys, so before we go ahead and dive into each specific type of light here on the table, the one thing I want to mention is that I chose to go with the same company for all different types of lights for a couple of really good reasons. Number one, every light you see in front of me is battery operated, okay? The speed lights, we all know that they are battery operated, that's just how they are. But this bigger light here, which is a lot more power, and this Mondo light here I use in my studio, all of these are powered by rechargeable batteries. That means pretty much one thing. It's a heck of a lot safer when you're smashing cakes. You guys know when you're doing smash cake photography that little ones love cords, and they will grab a hold of those cords, they'll yank them, your lights will come down, and it will just be a hot mess, and your little ones run the risk of getting hurt. Now, when I decided to go ahead and make smash cake photography the bulk of my photography business, I said I'm not going to be able to do it if I can't make my set safer. And that is exactly what I did when I chose to work with these guys, because there are no cords coming out of these lights. I can run them up into the ceiling, 12 feet into the air, no dangling cord, which as we all know is an attractive nuisance to a little one with grabby hands. So that's the main reason I chose to go with this lighting system. The second reason is there's a little thing inside each one of these lights called high-speed sync. Now, I don't want to get into the science of it, I don't want to bore you, but basically what high-speed sync allows you to do is set your shutter speed higher than 1/200th of a second. Now, why is that important? Well, we know that the higher you set that shutter speed, the more it stops action. And as smash cake photographers, we're in the business of stopping action. So when I was using Paul Buff lights and other brands, I didn't have high-speed sync. They just don't have it. And so I had to set my shutter speed at 1/200th of a second, and oftentimes I was getting motion blur in my images, which meant that I had to throw them away and I wasn't able to sell them. So that was pretty annoying. I didn't enjoy that because nobody likes to lose money. So I went ahead and found a system that had high-speed sync, and I found one that was affordable. I'm sorry, ProPhoto, you guys make amazing lights, but I just can't afford them. So I decided to go with the Godox /Flashpoint lighting system. So let's go ahead and take a look at the speed lights real quick. I absolutely love speed lights. Okay, I built my career and my studio off of one speed light. That's how I started. And at the time, nobody was doing off-camera flash, not in my area at least. And so I was going ahead and creating senior portraits that with a look that nobody else could get, and it was all due to one speed light. Now, back in the day, I had to pay $550 for that speed light, but today, with Godox, these guys run about $85, which is a huge selling point. So you could go out and buy a Canon speed light or a Nikon speed light, but you are going to pay, roughly $400 more. So I would recommend, for those of you just starting out, go with the Godox lights, invest $85 in this light, And if flash isn't your thing and ultimately you go back to natural light photography, at least you're not out a ton of money. Now, as I said before, this has a rechargeable battery, it has high-speed sync, and the power output can be controlled from the back of your camera with this handy-dandy little remote. And it is perfect for headshots, and it is perfect for senior portraits. What it's not perfect for is group shots or any time where you are photographing action. So if you need that flash to recycle again and again and again, if you're praying and spraying, this guy is not going to keep up with you. So it's perfect for just kind of getting your toes wet in photography because you can kind of see how to balance flash with ambient light. You can do all sorts of neat tricks. But once you've learned those tricks and once you want to graduate to a higher powered light. So will I use that as a main light in the studio for Smash Cake? Absolutely not. I recommend if you are going to use these guys, you can use them as accent lights. You can put them up on a pole, use it as a hair light, use it as a background light, because as we all know, light coming from the back towards your camera appears brighter, which means you can put this at a lower power setting and it will recycle faster, but it's still not fast enough for me to want to use that as a main light for my Smash Cake photography. Now the next light on the table is these funky little monkeys. They look like a speed light, and they are. This is a speed light on steroids, okay? This guy is about 50 watts of power. This guy's 200 watts of power. And as you can see, the size difference is really nominal. This is probably a 1/4 of an inch taller, and it's probably about 1/2 pound heavier, but that's it. You can still put this light behind dumpsters. You can still fly this above your baby's heads. You can still do a ton of things with this. And yes, you can control it with your remotes. Yes, it has high-speed sync. Yes, it's battery operated. Yes, it talks to all of these lights. And it's got 4 times the power of one of your little speed lights. Which means that if you have the budget, I would skip over the speed lights completely and I would pick up one of these. You're going to find that this is incredibly versatile for headshots. Incredibly versatile for, you can use it for Smash Cake, especially if you're doing Smash Cake photography in a park outside. This fills in the shadows, and because you'll be using it at a lower power setting, it keeps up with you. So it will just keep stopping that action for you, and it's just a great all-around light. Now, I use this for not only Smash Cake outdoors because it's lightweight, it travels well. I literally can fit 2 of these guys in my camera bag, and I barely notice the weight. And it's perfect for traveling because you really don't want to take, 3 or 4 of these guys. That's heavy. They all come in a suitcase, and you look like you're moving in. So for travel, for outdoor Smash Cake photography, this is where I would go. Now, it also has a feature that this speed light does not have. You'll notice that this one and this one have 2 different heads. Well, each one of these lights will ship with both the speed light head and this head. And it's a simple detachable head, and when you want to use your speed light head, you just slap on the speed light head. When you want to use this guy, you go ahead and just slap it on, click it into place, and Bob is your uncle. Now, when would you want to use this head? Well, when you want to photograph Smash Cake photography, or when you're using a medium softbox or a small softbox. This head is going to, unlike the speed light, this head is going to emit light all the way around and forward, whereas the speed light can only punch light forward. Well, what does that do for you? Well, if you're running one of these in a softbox, it means that even if you get a medium to large softbox, you're still only illuminating the center, which means that light is going to be a little bit harder than it would be if you use this guy. This guy is going to emit light all the way around and forward, filling up that softbox. And that's how you get that soft, beautiful, non-harsh light. So when I photograph Smash Cake sessions outside at parks, I use this guy and a medium softbox, and it gets the job done. Now, when you are ready to move into a studio, you're going to want to get this guy right here. Now, we've all seen those beautiful images on Pinterest with the baby that has like no shadowing on their face. They look like little porcelain dolls. And that comes from using a big, giant light like this in a big, giant modifier. Now at my studio, I use 5-foot modifiers and I use 7-foot modifiers. And this guy has 600 watts of power. And it will fill up the entire modifier, making this giant, soft, huge swath of light. Now again, instead of a speed light head punching all of that light forward, you've got this glass tube, and it's emitting light all the way around and forward. So it's really filling up that softbox and really creating soft, beautiful, almost shadowless light. And that's how you get it done, is with one of these guys. And as I said before, it's got the high-speed sync, so you're never going to be able to, or you're never going to have a problem stopping action. It's got the detachable battery for safety, no more cords on your set. And this light talks to this light, talks to that light. And if you want to run 3 of these guys, you can just put them in different groups, and on each one of these controllers, you have a way of controlling each light individually, or you could put all 3 of these guys in one group and run them as one light. And when you really need extra power, that's how you get it done. So it's an incredibly flexible system. It's the only system I recommend when I talk to students. And this is probably the cheapest way for anybody to get started in flash photography. So let's run through the prices real quick. This is $85 for 1 unit. For 1 unit with 2 different heads, this is $299. And this one is $595. Now, what you get, like I said, is the high-speed sync. And when you are looking at like a Paul Buff Einstein, for example, those retail for about $500. Well, if you ask me, I'd rather spend the extra $100, get the cordless option, get the option where you can control it from a remote, and get the option of high-speed sync for that extra $100. That's money well spent. Now, if you're throwing away images because you're not stopping action, because you don't have high-speed sync, you're actually losing money. So that's why I always recommend when somebody says, how do I get started in smash cake photography? What lights do I buy? These are the lights I go to. And if I had to pick one of these lights, I would go with this guy. But if my budget wasn't there, I would go with this guy. Now, if I'm an absolute novice to flash, go with this guy. And if you absolutely hate it, you're only out $85. So there you go. Those are my recommendations for flash for smash cake photographers, and I really hope this helped. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. That's what it's there for. And we're pretty diligent about checking those and answering those questions. And if it's a reoccurring question, of course, we'll create another video specifically for those questions, and we'll post it on the smashcake.com as well as YouTube. So there'll be no excuse if you don't find it. Now, if you really want to make sure you find everything that we put out, go to thesmashcake.com and sign up for our newsletter, and you will be notified every time we post a new blog or every time we post a new video. So until next time, you guys, my name is Daniel Troutman with thesmashcake.com. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. DIYs on how to do all the cutesy, artsy, fartsy stuff, as well as how to build a set. I'm going to start that over because I said fartsy.